Hey all, just a few days ago, Sid took on the challenge of understanding the CSV file. At first, he felt a bit confused, but Sid didn't give up. He's moving one step ahead by solving PYQS on CSV files. Because practical is the real game and PYQS are the best way to test what you have learned and prepared for the board exam. So if you are like Sid, let's open the question paper and start solving. Face your doubts and push your limits. Here is question number 20th. Let's read the assertion. New line is a keyword argument used in the open function. We have already discussed this statement is true. In case of CSV file, we use the open function with three parameters. First is file name, second is mode, and the third is new line. And we pass the default value for it. Now what's the reason? Keyword arguments allowed the user to pass values in the function call in any order provided the parameter names are matching according to the function header. In the topic functions we have studied this is the definition of the keyword argument. So this statement is also true. With the help of keyword argument we can pass the value. But what's the condition? The name should be same in the function header as well as in the function call. So if we look at the options, the option A is correct. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation for A. Let's move ahead and check out the question in which we need to write the program based on CSV file. We got the question. It is question number 33. We need to write user defined function and which will accept and add data of a room in the file name hotel.csv. And the room data means it will be room number, room type, price and number of guests. Look at the data type which are given for different data items. Room number and room type will be string type. Whereas price and number of guests are of integer type. If you can do it yourself, pause the video and give it a try. If not also, let's do it together. According to the instruction, user defined function is ready. We have imported CSV module. Here is the second step. We are opening the file in the A mode. We need to keep on adding record to the file. That's why we will open it in A mode. CSV file is a type of text file. That's why the modes will be same. W mode is used for writing, R is used for reading and A is used for appending data to the file. The third task is to create writer object. Now let's input details of room. Room number, room type, price and number of guests. Room number and room type is of string type. That's why we are not applying any function on it. Whereas price and number of guests are of integer type. That's why we have added integer function. Now out of this input data, let's create the list and pass it on a write row function. Write row function will give this list to writer object. It will convert this data to delimited format and it will get returned to the file. Alright then, let's call this function. It's time to execute the program. Let's enter some random data. Room number will be 101. Room type can be standard, deluxe or suite. Make sure you are entering deluxe because the next function which we want to write is based on the room type. So let's write room type as deluxe. Next we need to mention the price for the room. Now we need to enter number of guests. Let's write 4. In this way data got written to the file. Now let's check the file. The name of the file is hotel.csv. Here is the file. Look at the file content. One record got inserted. I would suggest you to add some more records. We are proceeding to the second part of the same question. In this we need to write display function. It will read and display those data from hotel.csv whose room type is deluxe. Also we need to count and return the total number of guests and total amount collected for the deluxe room. Alright, we have added some more record to the hotel.csv file. You can directly type it here. Alright, it's time to understand the code. Here is the user defined function. We have to count total guests for the deluxe room as well as the total amount collected for the same. That's why we have initialized it to 0 in the beginning. Let's open the CSV file in the read mode. Here is the step to create reader object. We got the reader object means we got the whole content of the file. Now we will be iterating over it row by row. That we are going to do with the for loop. For row in reader. It means we got the first list in the variable row. At the first position we have room type. At the second position we are writing the price, and at the third position we have the number of guests. Now we need to check the room type is deluxe or not. For that we are using conditional if statement. Row of 1 is equals to deluxe. If it is deluxe, then we need to count the total guest and total amount. We applied lower function on it because we need case insensitivity. We will keep on adding the number of guests for the room type deluxe, and that we are getting at the index 3. When we use the reader object, we get the data in the form of string. That's why we are applying here integer function. In the same way, we have to add the amount collected for the same. That we will be getting using price, which is at the index 2. That will keep on adding to the variable total amount, which is initially 0. So every record will get checked for the room type deluxe. If it is there, we will keep on adding the price and the number of guests. Finally, we will get the count that we are going to print. If we look at our data, we have two entries, we have two records having deluxe as room type. So in this, amount will get added, that is nothing but 2000 plus 3000. It means we will get 5000. And along with that, we need to add the guest also. It is nothing but 9. So our answer should be 5009. Then let's execute the program and check the output. For that, first of all, let's call this function. Let's execute the program now. So look at the output. Total guests are 9 and the amount is 5000. We got the perfect answer. Hope you got this code. Here is question number 10, which is based on CSV file. Let's read it. CSV files are opened with argument to suppress end of line translation. We have already discussed in the open function we use this new line parameter which suppress the EOL translation. So the correct answer is new line. It's time to check out for the question based on CSV file. So let's move further. Here is the question number 33. We need to store the details of player in a football.csv file. Look at the header. We are storing player name, matches played and the goal scored. Data type also mentioned. Player name will be string, matches will be of integer data type and goals also will be of integer data type. Now what we need to do? We need to write one user defined function with 3 parameters. This function will append data to the existing football.csv file. Look at these words, without overwriting previous entries. It means we have to open the file in the A mode. So pause the video and give it a try. Alright, the code is very simple. First of all, let's take the required input, player name, matches played and goal score. That 3 parameters we are going to pass to the user defined function add player. Now let's check the code of add player function. CSV module is already imported. We are opening the file in the A mode. Don't forget this new line parameter. Now let's create the writer function and pass these 3 parameters, 3 values to the right row. In this way, records will get added and we are printing the message too. It's time to execute the program. It is related to football, so enter the records accordingly. The first player name which will come to my mind regarding football is Sunil Chhetri. Let's enter some random data because I have no idea of exact data. Let's open this football.csv file and check out. Look at the file content. One record got added to the football.csv file. It's time to check the second function. The name of the function is highest average. In this function, we need to read the football.csv file and display the name of the player with the highest average goal per match. Even the formula is also given, goals divided by matches. Here there is one more condition given. Let's read it. Ensure that the function does not calculate average where matches might be 0. Alright, here is the user defined function and we are opening the file in the read mode. Using this statement, we are creating the reader object. We need to print the name of the player which is having highest average. For that, we have initialized these 2 variables. Initially, the maximum average will be 0 and the player name is none. Now we are iterating over each record. In the list, we know at the 0th index, we have name of the player. At the first index, we have matches played and at the second index, we have goals. That's why we are initializing it to variables to keep the code simple. If you want to cross check the variable's name, you can print and check it, but now it is not required. So let's comment it. Proceeding to the next statement using if, we are checking if matches are greater than 0 or not. Because in the formula we are dividing the goals by matches. If it is 0, we will get the exception 0 division error. In this way we got the average. If you want to print it, that also you can do it, but now it's not required. Let's check this average with the maximum average. We need to calculate the maximum average for the different player. So the calculated average, we will check it with the maximum average, which is initially 0. If this average is greater than the maximum average, that average will become maximum and the player will be the best player with the highest average. Finally, we will print the player name. You can print average too. Here is a sample data. These are the matches played and these are the goals. We have to divide the goals by the matches played by the player. With the best average, we will get the name of the player. Let's execute and check the output. Look at the output. The best player with the highest average is Sunil Chetri. Here we are printing the average to make it clear. That's why we are getting these values. In the exam, we will not print it. Let's execute and check the output once again. We got the required output. Here is 33rd question. The name of the CSV file is happiness.csv. Here the record contains this data: name of the country, population of the country, sample size. It means the number of persons who participated in the survey. And the fourth is happy. It is a number of persons who accepted that they are happy. To make it clear, one example we have. Now let's check out what we need to do. We need to write function to read all the data from the file in the form of list and display only those records for which population is more than 50 lakhs. And in the second function, we have to count the number of records. This is very simple. If you can do it yourself, give it a try. We have imported CSV module. Opening the file in the read mode, reader got created. If there is a header, you can use next function to skip the header. Now let's iterate over each record. In the record at the 0th position, we have country. At the first location, we have population and we need population. That's why we are checking record of 1 is greater than 50 lakh. If it is greater than 50 lakh, we will print that record. In this way, we are printing the record which are having population greater than 50 lakhs. To read the file, we must have file. So you can create directly here with extension .csv and type the data into it. Don't forget to save it by pressing Ctrl S. Here is some sample data with the column header. Let's call this function and execute the program. When we look at the output, we could see we got 3 records with the population greater than 50 lakhs. In the file there were 4 records, but in the output we got 3 which are having population more than 50 lakh. Now let's write the second user defined function in which we need to count the records. In the question, name is not mentioned, that's why you can give as per your choice. We are opening the file in the read mode, reader got created. In our file we have header, so we need to use next to skip that header because we need to count the records, not the header. We will be iterating the record one by one and incrementing the count variable by 1 which is initialized to 0. Finally, we will print the count. Let's close the file. We are calling the function. Now let's execute the program. Look at the output. We got 4. It is the total number of records. You can even print the message. After adding the message, let's execute and check the output once again. This is clear now. Hope you understood the program and enjoyed the session. If so, don't forget to share it with your friends and like this video. This question is for 4 marks which is based on CSV file. Read question carefully. Vedansh is a Python programmer. For annual sports meet, he created a CSV file. The name of the CSV file is result.csv. And the structure of the CSV file is as follows. There is one list. The first is student ID, second is student name. The third element of the list is game name. It is the name of the game in which student is participating. It is in the form of string. Let's scroll it down. The fourth element is result. The value for the result can be won, lost or tie. Let's read the remaining question. Vedansh needs to write some user-defined function. The first user-defined function is accept. What this function is gonna do? It will accept a record from the user and add it to the file. Along with records, we need to add the column heading too. There is one more function Vedansh need to write, that is one count. It counts the number of the students who have won any event. So as a Python expert, we need to help him. Are we Python expert? Why not? We can be. According to the instruction, here is the name of the function. With the help of input function, we are taking input. The first is student ID, second is student name, third is name of the game, and the fourth one is result. With all this data, we have created one list because write row function takes data in the form of list. Now it's time to use open function. The name of the CSV file is result.csv. That file is gonna open in the append mode because we will be continuously adding data to it, so we need to open it in the append mode. Don't forget this parameter in case of CSV file. Otherwise, after every row, blank line will get added to the CSV file. The next important task is to create writer object. Now using write row function, we are providing that list to the writer object. Along with the record, we need to write the heading too. For that, we have created one more list. The name of the list is headings. According to the fields, we need to mention the headings. There are 4 fields. That's why there are 4 headers. As we use write row function to write data, in the same way you will be using write row function to write headings and giving it to the writer object. So that was the code. Here is the second function that Vedansh will be writing. Consider some random data in the CSV file. Alright, let's try to understand the code. Here is the function according to the instruction. With the open function, we open the file in the read mode. Important step is to create reader object with the file pointer. Now we need to process the fetch data. With the reader object, we got the data in this format. Now we will be iterating over the list one by one. According to the question, we need to count the number of students who have won in any event. So we are interested into this list element where we are mentioning the result. Look at this random data. There are 3 students who have won in the event. To iterate over the list, we are using for loop. For x in data. We are interested in this field which is at the index 3. So x of 3 is equals to 1. We are comparing it with 1. If it is true, we will be incrementing the variable count which was initialized to 0. So every time if we get 1, the count will get increased. In this way, we will be getting the count of the student who have won, that we are printing. Ultimately, we will get this output. The number of students who have won equals to 3. Hope you understood this code. Let's try to understand it. We need to create one function. The name of the function is max salary. What this function will be doing? It will read all the records from an already existing file. The name of the file is record.csv. It stores the records of the various employees working in a department. Look at the data. The first field is e-code, second is e-name, third is scale, and the fourth one is salary. Here is the question. Function should display the row where salary is maximum. So we need to print that record in which salary is the maximum among all. Let's try to understand the code. Here is the process to read data from the CSV file. The first step is to open the CSV file in the read mode. The second step is to create the reader object. Here is the given CSV file. Look at the file content. With the reader object, we got file data. Now we will be iterating over it using for loop. For row in reader. We need to find out the maximum salaries. How to find out the maximum of it? It is like finding out the maximum element from the given numbers. For that, we will be initializing one variable max equals to 0. Now let's compare this max variable with this element. If this element is greater than max, so that element will get initialized to the max variable. Now the max is 65. Now let's compare this element with the second element. If it is greater than this, it will be the max one. Otherwise 65 will remain as max. The same concept we are going to apply here. We initialize the max variable to 0. The salary is at the index 3 of the list. So using index 3 we are getting that value. It will be in the string format. So we need to convert it to the integer. Then only we can compare the numbers. If this is greater than max, that will be the max. Now the max will be 65,400. And that whole record we are initializing to the variable rec, so that we will get this whole record. In the same way we will be proceeding to the next record. Will get compared with the next value, that is 60,000. It is not greater than that, so max will be as it is. Moving ahead to the next value, 65,400 will get compared with 45,300. It is not greater, so max will be 65,400 itself. Whole record we are getting in the variable rec, because we are not interested only in this salary field. We need whole record. That's why we are initializing it to a variable rec, and whole record we are getting in the variable row. There is one thing to note down. What is that? When we read the data with the reader object, we get headings too. So the first record what we got will be the headings. So when we will iterate over the records, we are iterating over the headings. In this code we are changing the element which is at the index 3 to integer. And look at the value in the heading at the index 3. It is salary word. It cannot get converted to integer. So this program will result in error. To avoid this, we will be using next function. So after getting data, first of all we will be using next of reader. What is the advantage of using it? When we get data using reader object, the control will shift to the next row. We are actually at the content of the data. We are not considering now header. So keep in mind, when you want to perform some calculation on the file data, don't forget to use this next function. To move the control to the next record, we will be at the actual file content. We saw questions in which you need to write code based on the CSV file. You will be getting the questions in this format also, where you need to only write the missing statement. For that you should be clear with the process of reading data from the CSV file as well as writing data to the CSV file. Let's solve one of these type of question. Take time to read the question carefully. In the statement 1, we need to write the Python statement which allows Sudhir to work with CSV file. To work with CSV file, we need to import CSV module. Here is the list for header and here is the nested list for data. Using open function, we are opening the file in the W mode. For that, we need to create a writer object. First, we are writing the headings, and now we need to write this nested list of the data. You are quite clear now, right? When we use nested list, we will be using write rows function. So look at the statement 2. We need to write this nested list. For that we will be using write rows function with CSV writer. That's why we are using write rows function with writer object. And the parameter is the nested list. In the next statement we are closing the file. So this was all about writing data to the file. After that we are reading the data from the CSV file. So we are opening the same file in the read mode. We created the reader object. Let's check out what we need to do in the third statement. Write a Python statement to read the header row. To read header row we will be using next function. Next function works with the reader object. Even we are printing that headings. Using for loop we will be doing some processing over the data. It's time to check out the statement number 4. Write object that contains data that has been read from the file. We read data from the file in the reader object. The name of the reader object is CSV reader, that we need to specify here. So here we specified it. Generally based on CSV file we will be getting 4 mark questions, and if you get this type of question, it is very easy to cover 4 marks. Writing only one word, you will be getting 1 mark. Along with code you may be getting theory question which can be for 1 mark. Here we need to write the difference between CSV and text file. If it is for 1 mark, write 2 difference for safer side. In case of text file, the data stores in the same format as we type. In case of CSV file, data got separated and the default delimiter is comma. The extension of the text file is .txt and the extension of CSV file will be .csv. There are some more questions which are based on CSV file. I would recommend you to go through it so that it will be easy to cover those 4 marks. We cannot afford to lose 1 mark also. At least we can give it a try for 70 out of 70. With that, let's wrap today's video. In the next video, we will continue Sid's journey as he wants to cover one of the pending topics, that is Python modules. It's going to be fun, practical and super important for your final exam. If you find this video helpful, like, comment and subscribe for more motivation and revision tips. Until then, stay curious, stay consistent. I will see you in the next video.